One of the highlights of summer, with their funny looks and adorable antics, fledglings are an absolute treat to see in the backyard. But juvenile birds can make for some tricky IDs, with extremely variable plumages, confusing even the most experienced birders. So in this video, we're talking about the fledgling plumages of 10 common backyard birds. Hope you like the video. 10. The common grackle. Among the most common blackbird during this time of year, you're almost guaranteed to at least see one in the summer months. The juveniles, unlike their glossy black parents, are a plain dark brown overall with a less vivid yellowish eye. Also, listen for the juveniles' harsh scolding calls. 9. The Mississippi kite. A common migratory hawk that flies to the U.S. to nest, these birds are easy to find at any time of day. These hawks usually start nesting by early June, and by late July to early August, most of this year's brood is already fledged. During this time, they can cause confusion for birders, being a streaky brown overall with a barred tail, unlike their plain gray parents. Note that the juvenile skulls are slightly rougher and longer in duration than the adult's whistles. 8. The mourning dove. Mourning dove juveniles look more like their parents than all the other birds on this list, but are still worth noting as there are many other U.S. dove species, including the white-winged and Eurasian-colored dove. So note that juvenile mourning doves have a scaly appearance to them, as the tips of their feathers are white. 7. The chipping sparrow. A widespread suburban bird in the summer months, it is easy to come across a few of these in your front yard. The juveniles of this species, like of the other birds on this list, are streaky brown overall, with a less vivid brown cap. The fledgling culls are slightly rougher and longer than the adults. 6. The eastern towhee. The juveniles of this towhee species can be downright confusing, with highly variable plumages. As a broad description, young eastern towhees are a streaky brown overall, with varying amounts of black and white on the wings and tail. 5. The northern mockingbird. One of the most similar to adult juvenile plumages, young mockingbirds look nearly identical to adults, with a small amount of streaking on the chest and underside. The juvenile culls are a set of recognizable wheezy whistles. 4. The brown-headed cowbird. Perhaps most numerous in the summer, brown-headed cowbird juveniles are nearly everywhere, as they fledge from their foster parents. The fledglings are dark brown overall, with prominent streaking on the underside. More intermediate birds have patches of adult plumage. Juvenile calls sound like muffled trills. 3. The American robin. American robin juveniles are pretty recognizable, with a white or orange-washed brown speckled breast and a less bold brown back and head. Juvenile calls sound a little like the adults. 2. The eastern bluebird. Eastern bluebird juveniles are probably the weirdest plumage fledglings out there, being gray with white speckling and having a small amount of blue on their wing and or tail. Like chipping sparrows, they prefer front yards in suburban areas. 1. The northern cardinal. With many different plumage stages, young northern cardinals start as small brown fledglings with oversized crests and short tails, becoming larger and more developed later. After several weeks with their parents, they start having red-tinted wings and tails, and finally, by next year's spring, they have their full adult plumage. As a result of their complex plumage stages, intermediates are common. The juvenile calls are pretty easy to recognize, being wheezy and high-pitched. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share, and like.